Bill Murray is in sleepwalking mode for the most part, but he's just so disgusting. And he's so disgusting in front of people, humans, that it's like, will someone go and rescue this little girl from this disgusting man? There's a moment where he trips off of 2 steps going into his house, and he's laid up with ice, and his daughter comes into the room, and he's like, leg, and she's like, oh, they're putting some ice on your legs. So I'm sorry to see. No, leg. He means a leg of chicken from the box of KFC that's just outside of his reach.
It's like a deleted scene where Child Protective Services shows up.
YunkJunk. Somebody's got to do it. I'll do it. Hey, welcome to the Micheaux Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble. And as always, I'm joined by my partner.
Hey, this is Vincent Williams.
We're back. We're back. Right here on The Mission after missing for 1 week. But we're back with a all Dylan show.
Dylan Palooza.
That's right. As Vincent and I will be reviewing maybe Dylan's favorite movie as a young wee Dylanite from 2001, starring the voice work of Chris Rock, David Hyde Pierce, Brandy Norwood, William Shatner, and the comic skills of Bill Murray. Mm-hmm. It's Osmosis Jones. Mm-hmm. Up for review here on the Mission, streaming live from YunkJunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace, to Facebook as well as to YouTube, where each and every one of you are out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
Vincent, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm fine. You know, moving into the holiday season, feeling good.
It's the holiday season.
It is.
Yes. I have just returned from holiday.
I know. And how is that? You tanned and rested?
Well, let me tell you, Vincent, for those who aren't aware, spent the last week in Jamaica.
Very nice.
Specifically at this lovely retreat in Discovery Bay, Hidden Springs.
Okay.
Where they had this hammock that became my best friend.
Okay. All right.
I was out there in paradise. First of all, it's. I don't know if you've ever been to Discovery Bay, Jamaica.
I have not.
Okay, but Hidden Springs, it's up in the hills of Discovery Bay. A fairly long drive up these winding hill in Discovery Bay. So much so that when I was sitting on the porch, and there's the elevated porch in this like kind of retreat, shout out to Dwight and Bridget, the homeowners and owners of Hidden Springs, who made us extremely welcome there. But when we're sitting up on the porch and you're looking out over their beautiful land, they've got like about 10 mango trees on their property. Mm-hmm. They've got like these huge palm trees, and you're looking out and you see the sea in the horizon, but you're so high that you're looking down at the clouds.
Wow.
And I was like, those clouds look different. And like my partner was like, yeah, because you're looking down on them.
You're looking down on the
I'm
clouds.
like, what? It's just a whole nother experience, man.
Very nice.
And then waking up every morning, like, you know, like she's like, you want some tea? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'd love some tea. She's going out into her garden, picking lemongrass, picking mint and picking ginger.
Very nice.
And just steeping it with water. And I'm like, this is the tea?
This is the tea?
Yo, that was the tea.
Very nice.
That was the tea. That was nice. I cannot tell you how nice a time I had, man.
Oh, I'm glad.
It was so beautiful, man. Went to this one restaurant. I don't know if this has ever happened to you. You go to a restaurant, you ordering fish, and it's fish that they caught that morning.
I always say this fish had a life in dreams earlier today.
Dude, this fish was literally looking up at me and it's like, yeah, I hope you like me, Len.
Yeah, nothing in the world.
I was like,
fresh fish.
Not only do I like you, I'm going to eat your brother too.
Yes, yes.
Like, good, I don't like him. I was like, all right, cool.
Excellent.
It was such a lovely time, man.
Well, I am glad, and you certainly deserve the rest in the break.
Thank you.
And welcome back.
And I'm back. And
to the hellscape that is America. No, I'm kidding.
Don't think I didn't think. Look, I disconnected from everything, dog. Sure. I disconnected from the Micheaux mission, from Push Black, from everything.
Right.
But I was party to a little bit of the hellscape of America because, as you can imagine, it's Jamaica and you would imagine it's a lot of tourism.
Yeah. Right? Oh, absolutely.
But it was there's actually most of the tourism were Europeans.
Yes,
there
we had a whole bunch of questions. Had a whole lot of slick talk.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But there was this one place. I look at my shirt. Dunn's River in Jamaica.
Apparently, you climbed it.
It's this falls. It's literally a falls that you climb. It's 180 feet.
Okay.
You climb from the base to the top of the fall.
Lovely.
It was like, which, has like about maybe 4 or 5 lagoons in the midst of you walking up. It was cool as hell. And they take you up in groups, right? And so they walk us down like about a group of 10 to the bottom of the falls, which is like right at bottoms out at the beach. And then you're going to climb all the way up. So as we get down there, we're waiting for the tour guide to like start. And he's like, oh, we got to wait for one other person. And you look back down these steps and there's this elderly woman coming down with her care worker.
Okay.
Apparently this family, European family, felt that it was fine for them, since it was a family trip, to bring their 91-year-old mother or grandmother to climb the 180-foot.
Look, if you want the shirt, you have to earn the shirt. Like, otherwise, she has the shirt that says, my family climbed, what's it called?
Dunn's River.
Dunn's River, and all I got was this T-shirt.
Well,
see, that's the T-shirt she would get. But if you want the I climbed Dunn's River T-shirt, you have to actually climb it.
Well, she did not climb Dunn's River Falls.
All right, no T-shirt for you.
She climbed about a quarter of the falls.
Yeah, that's no T-shirt.
A regular climb up the falls, they say takes about maybe 45 minutes, perhaps an hour, younger people, stuff like that. She climbed a quarter of the falls. Getting her that quarter of the falls, that was an hour and a half.
See?
As we are all standing behind her. Trying to help.
Yeah.
Push this along.
Yeah.
And talking to her family. I'm not sure she's going to make. Well, she did Zumba this morning. I'm like, and you thought it was smart to bring her for now rock climbing.
Yeah.
With cascading water in her face.
Well, I'm glad you got through and got the shirt.
But I got the shirt.
Excellent.
And we're here.
Excellent.
So, thank you for indulging me.
Hey, man. Welcome back.
All right. And it's time to hear from you. That means it's time for your emails, or as we like to call them,
missives from missionaries. So what else is going on, Lynn?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, missives from the missionaries. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, missives from the missionaries.
Missives from the missionaries. Vincent, we've got a thick show. It's an all Dylan show.
A Dylan Palooza.
Dylan Palooza tonight. So we're going to go.
Who are the 5 greatest producers? Dylan, and Dylan. He spit hot fire.
So, unfortunately, we didn't get an email from Dylan, but we did get emails from our Michaels.
Okay.
So we'll start with Michael Lockett.
What's up, Michael?
In the subject line, the blacks sometimes break into song.
It's true. We're very musical people.
I have learned that everything is a musical.
Yes.
And that is, I believe it. I've seen it in action. Michael starts. Y'all didn't done it. I've never had to dive out of my seat to protect my computer, but thanks to you, my brothers, I have checked something off my bucket list I didn't even know was enumerated.
Okay.
Back to this shortly. I really liked Pride.
Okay.
I missed this film offering when it came out, and every time it may have been on TNT. This is truly a great uplifting story. Every character was good enough and the story was solid. Bernie Mac did his thing and made me miss him. He was just about to be the biggest thing happening in black comedy, I think, when he passed. The mantle Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey got would have been delayed big time had Bernie not passed away too soon. Films like this reassure me that the best stories about America are still yet to be told. On the movie. This was a bad outing for both Sidney Poitier and Eartha Kitt. As bad as it was, the unprompted stroke song, That Man of Mine, made it worse and had me spitting my seltzer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you miss things for a reason.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you two what you thought were the worst films by icons such as Belafonte, Poitier, James Earl Jones, etc. But the mark brought me down. Answer if you want, but I'd really prefer to know who your favorite black actor, outside of perhaps Tony Todd, to know who your favorite black actor, outside of perhaps Tony Todd, to be a guest on any Star Trek show. As I was thinking, I started remembering people like Gabrielle Union, Vanessa Williams, William Marshall, and strangely, James Worthy being guests.
Yeah, he played a Klingon too.
All the best, Michael Lockett. I would say my favorite was probably who played Cisco's father? Was that Moses Gunn?
That's Moses Gunn.
Moses
That's
Gunn.
Moses Gunn.
Yeah, so that was probably the first one that comes to my mind.
Yeah, that's probably the best one. I was thinking just rando guest star, but you meant like someone who showed up periodically. That's probably the best one.
Yeah, but I guess he did show up periodically.
I was about to say, because in that case, I'll stick with the Cisco circle and say Penny Johnson, who I absolutely adored.
I did adore her
on Star Trek.
I did adore her, but okay,
but just super rando.
Yeah, let's do rando, because Penny Johnson almost was like
Dr. Mae Jameson.
Oh, that
made me so happy. It makes me so happy when I see her in that uniform, and just because it's the exact type of thing that I would do if I had that type of money and access. Tyler Perry, when he was like the head of the tribunal in one of the Kelvin Universe Star Trek movies, I said, you know what, Tyler Perry? I am not even mad at you.
I ain't mad at you.
I'm not mad at you at all. Because if I was a billionaire and people just did stuff for me, I'd say, you know what? I want to be the president of Starfleet.
That's right. Yeah.
So
I'm not mad at him for that. You know, he's a Star Trek fan.
Right.
I bet Eddie Murphy was probably killing him.
Right.
But
Stacey Abrams.
Well, see, now here's the thing.
Discovery.
Well, here's the thing. I was just about to reference Stacey Abrams, but unfortunately, I was going to reference that as one that I did not like.
Why not?
Not because she did a bad job.
Yeah.
But I felt that one for whatever reason, felt forced to me. And therefore it didn't feel true. Now, to be fair, I don't know Stacey Abrams. She may be a huge Star Trek fan, and that meant the world to her.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it felt forced. And if she was indeed a Star Trek fan, then God bless her and all the world. But it felt forced to me, and I guess maybe because of where she was in the political climate at that time, it felt like a little Kamala Harris on Saturday Night Live to me.
Yeah, I liked it. Okay. But all right.
So, but thank you, Michael, as always.
Michael. Thank you
for your thoughtful email and your thoughtful commentary. All right, we have one more email for you, and this is from Michael Sykes.
Hey, Michael.
The subject line is not another Wayans movie, a.k.a. dance flick. Hello, Len and Vincent. This weekend, while watching two of the Wayans brothers' classic movies, such as 1996's Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood and 2000's Scary Movie, I stumbled upon another Wayans brothers, well more like two generations of Wayans, 2009 movie Dance Flick, which was written and directed by the second generations, Craig Wayans and Damian Dante Wayans. It stars Damon Wayans Jr., Essen Atkins, and Effion Crockett. It was okay.
Boy, they know they keep that Essence Atkins employed.
It was okay, but the scenes that made it good were cameo appearances by their uncles Keenan, Sean, and Marlon, and David Alec Greer. Other than that, it was just okay. Damon Wayans Jr.'s scenes weren't funny. Have y'all ever heard of this film? And if so, what are your thoughts on it and Damon Wayans Jr.? Have a great Thanksgiving. Love your fan, Michael Sykes.
I've heard of the movie. I've never seen it. And in fact, I've never seen it to the point that I didn't know it was a second generation Wayans project, which now I'm vaguely interested in it because I may have been the only person on earth that watched their mockumentary series, the second generation Wayans, who I'm assuming that the Wayans that wrote this are the same ones from the show.
Right.
And Damon Wayans Jr., I have been agnostic about, but I'm enjoying Papa's House.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that.
Way more than I had planned on, frankly, just because I enjoy watching Damon and Damon Jr. together. Like, I just enjoy seeing it. It's funny. We were talking just a quick moment about piano lesson, which I enjoyed a great deal. But as much as I enjoyed it, what I really love is Denzel Washington moving into this moment where he's setting up his legacy. Yeah. Like, it's legacy. And I'm a huge fan of the Wayans dynasty, oftentimes more so than I am the work itself.
Right. The idea of
like just and just what they've done. So I love Damon Wayans Jr. as sort of the vanguard of, hopefully the vanguard, because I think, I know there's a niece who's a stand-up comedian too, whose name just slips my mind. But besides her and Damon Jr., I haven't seen as much from that next generation. But I kind of like you said, I like the idea of Damon Jr. more than I do his comedy. But in his defense, I don't know if he's actually making comedy for me.
Well, that's the thing.
Did you like The New Girl? Did you watch The New Girl at all?
I watched it. I maybe saw bits of an episode or two. Yeah, enough to say like, oh, okay, that's a show.
Right. That's
still on.
That's the thing that was on, and then he was on another show. I thought, like one of them,
kind of like
one of them post Friends.
Yeah, kind of want to be
kind of it's young couples and.
Yeah, I see him
somehow it's like like everybody, the Friends, and it's oh, it's all white people and I can't believe it's all white people. But I'm like the opposite. Like when it's a group of white people and it's like one black guy and it's like, I need some, why are you there? Like, how is this your squad? Like, I just need an explanation. So like Damon Wayans was like, no. I mean, within the narrative.
Oh. Okay.
And so, it's like Damon Wayans is like the black guy in a cast of white people, but they never actually explain how this.
Well, that's an origin story for season 3.
Right.
So, but no, I've seen Damon Wayans Jr. pop up here and there. And, once I get over the shocks, like, did they de-age Damon Wayans? Like, oh no, that's just
right.
But once I get over that, it's like, okay, he seemed fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
I've heard good things about him. I heard of Dance Flick. I knew Dance Flick existed, but just the title of it told me like, I don't need to watch that movie until I have to watch it.
Right. It's like a spoof of the kind of movies that I don't watch anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, when I have to, because we're going to review them all, I'll watch it.
It is kind of fascinating, and I don't know if this was the plan on Papa's House. Damon Wayans is so charismatic and so good that he kind of eclipses Damon Wayans Jr., and I don't know if that was the plan or not, but it's sort of like, you didn't watch Greenleaf, did you?
Not all of it, but
right. But like Greenleaf, like Keith David and how'd I forget my girl's name?
Oh,
my girl, Eve's Bayou.
Oh, not Debbie Morgan.
Debbie Morgan.
Oh, it's not Journey Smollett. It's
no.
It's the older.
Right. Anyway, while you're looking up, like clearly they were supposed to be like supporting characters.
Lynette
not Lynette McKee.
But it's okay, I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
I don't want to look it up.
But they were,
and we can't see the chat.
Yeah, but they were so charismatic that they kind of eclipsed the rest of the cast.
Right, which happens.
And the show kind of became their show.
Right. Greenleaf cast, it was Lynn Whitfield. Yeah, like Lynn Whitfield and Keith David were so good on Greenleaf that you realize you just wanted to spend your time with them. Well, here's what I will say. The few times that I have caught Damon Wayans Jr. Is he seems more of an actor than his father.
Okay.
Because David Wayans did start in stand-up.
Sure.
And then started in sketch comedy and things of that nature.
Sure.
What I've seen him, and I just didn't know whether or not it was just the roles or whatever. He actually seemed more of a comic actor.
Sure.
Or more in the vein of his play uncle David Allen Greer.
Sure. Okay.
Than the rest of his family.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to imagine that Damon is probably upstaging him a little bit.
Yeah.
And upstaging is the wrong word. It's just being.
It's just.
Is he just being Damon?
Like it's a no-win situation. Like you're on the screen with someone who is an icon.
Yeah.
Like Damon Wayans is actually an icon.
And can do that type of show.
And, and just sort of the nature of it, like he's cooler than you. He's got more, I guess that's the same as cool. He's got more swag than you. He's got more. So it's like, but, I like Papa's House.
Yeah.
I love watching them work together. So
very good.
I am pro the Wayans family.
All right. Well, thank you for your email, Michael. And Michael, if you want to share your thoughts with us, we invite you to send your emails to micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUX MISSION@gmail.com.
All right.
Now it is time for Dylan, and
Dylan.
That's right. The top 5.
Top 5. Who's your top 5?
Keeping it in theme, Vincent.
Okay.
For our Dylan Palooza.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan.
Okay.
Our beloved video producer here at YunkJunk is a hell of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
With a hell of a name.
Yeah.
Dylan is a very strong name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like a name that like can like punch a rock.
Commands respect.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. So much so.
Okay.
That I wanted to see where Dylan, our beloved Dylan, stands in the pantheon of Dylans.
So we got 5 Dylans?
Yes.
All right.
To see whether or not our Dylan
is better than these Dylans.
Is just another Dylan.
Right.
Or is he the most Dylan of them all?
The emperor of God Emperor Dylan.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you be the judge.
Always.
Of whether Dylan tops these 5 Dylans.
Yes.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Starting with number 5.
Number 5.
Dylan Lauren.
Okay, who's Dylan Lauren?
Dylan Lauren, who was born in May of 1974.
Okay.
Is an American businesswoman who is the owner of New York City's Dylan Candy Bar.
Okay.
Which claims to be the largest candy store in the world. Now, when I say that she is an American businesswoman and entrepreneur who started this candy bar in New York, it sounds like, oh, this is a woman picked herself up by her bootstraps, and this is a Dylan that made something of herself.
Yeah. Got a whole Willy Wonka thing going on.
Yeah. However, she has Dylan.
Okay.
But more importantly, her last name is Lauren. As in Daddy Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
The fashion designer.
Oh, okay.
Who mayhaps
Yeah.
helped young Dylan get a start on this Dylan's Candy Bar.
All she has is a candy store?
See, now it's a whole different store. It's a whole different look, right?
And shit, if you're going to be the child of a rich person, you can be president of the United States. Yeah, Dylan is very much better than this Dylan.
So Dylan Lauren is just another Dylan.
Dylan wins this Dylan duel.
That's just another Dylan. All right.
All right.
Moving up.
All right.
We have number 4.
The 4th Dylan.
The 4th Dylan, we dip into the world of fiction.
Okay.
For Dylan Prescott Pickles.
Okay.
More affectionately known as Dill.
Yeah.
Voiced by Tara Strong, the son of Stu and Dee Dee Pickles, and Tommy Pickles' younger brother, born in the 1998 film, The Rugrats Movie.
Yeah, I don't acknowledge that Dill. I don't acknowledge these new characters. You remember the last couple of years of Peanuts when Lucy and Linus had a
He had their little brother.
and then his name was like Rerun?
Yes, he was Rerun.
Yeah, his name was Rerun. Yeah, I don't like it. It's got a real Cousin Oliver feel to it.
But I mean, Dill, he was cute.
Yeah.
He was a cute character.
Also, they were trying to play off of Phil and Lil.
Yes.
So no. Because I like when Phil and Lil would get in arguments with each other, and she'd say Philip, and he'd say Lillian.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It was adorable. I love the Rugrats.
Yeah, I don't like Dill.
You don't like Dill?
I don't like, no.
Dill Pickles?
No.
Okay, so Dylan Dill Pickles is just another Dylan.
No, plus it's a cheap pun. Like, there's nothing about this.
Puns.
I do. It's the lowest form of humor. It's like the fart jokes of word games. Go ahead. So no, Dylan is better than this. I don't even acknowledge this one as a real thing.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Number 3.
It's
going to get a little harder now.
All right.
Dylan Martin Alcott.
Okay.
Born December of 1990.
Mm-hmm.
An Australian former tennis player, basketball player, radio host, actor, foundation founder, business owner, and motivational speaker. All from a wheelchair.
I mean, that's nice.
He was a member of the Australian men's national wheelchair basketball team, known colloquially as the Rollers. At the age of 17, he became the youngest Rollers gold medal winner, and at the 2008 Beijing Paralympics was the youngest to compete in the wheelchair basketball competition. In 2014, he returned to wheelchair tennis with the aim of participating in the 2016 Rio Paralympics, at which he won gold medals in the men's quad singles and doubles, and he was named the 2016 Australian Paralympian of the Year due to his outstanding achievements at Rio.
I don't like it.
You don't like
I don't like it. Why is he doing all that?
He's doing too much?
What's he overcompensating for?
Oh my God.
No. I understand he's in the wheelchair, but one of those is like he could have been a motivational speaker, or he could have been the Olympian, or he could have been, I lost track of everything you were rattling off. Oh, he makes a great French toast. And I don't like it. I don't like it.
He did too much.
Right. What are you, Batman? I don't like it.
So
I'll take our Dylan.
All right, so Dylan Martin Alcott is just another Dylan.
Just another Dylan.
All right.
Yeah. He's better than those other two Dylans, I'll grant you.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
We move on to number 2.
All right.
Dylan Sprayberry.
Right. Do any of these people have regular names? Sound like Harry Potter characters. What are you doing over here?
Born July of 1998, Dylan Muse Sprayberry is an American actor known for portraying the young Clark Kent in the 2013 film Man of Steel, and he was the star of the MTV series Teen Wolf from 2014 to 2017.
Yeah.
Not doing it for you.
I feel like that third one should have been above this one.
Yeah, as I was reading, I was thinking it too.
Say.
Think I may have messed up the order.
Yeah, I think.
I think I may have missed that.
Yeah.
Missed that edit.
All right, so it's all right.
So he's definitely just another Dylan.
So far, Dylan is the emperor of Dylans.
Okay. Now
Who's the final boss?
The final boss. This may be hard.
All right, here we go.
Because from here, we may actually have the origin story of the name Dylan.
Okay.
Dylan Adon is a Welsh mythological character.
Okay, all right.
The story of Dylan reflects ancient Celtic myths that were handed down orally for some generations before being written down during the early Christian period by clerics.
Okay, very nice.
It is told that Dylan's great uncle Math would die if he did not keep his feet in the lap of a virgin when not at war.
What's this got to do with Dylan?
Continue. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Math's original footholder, Gawain, was raped by Gilfridi, who was punished severely when Math returns, turning Gilfridi and Gideon into a series of mated pairs of animals.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
This is some old European folklore right here. This tracks.
Math then marries Gawain to alleviate her shame.
Sure.
But must find a new virgin to hold his feet. Gideon suggests his sister, Arenhod. Math magically tests Arenhod to confirm that she is a virgin.
As one does.
At which point she gives birth to twin sons one of whom is Dylan.
So it's a virgin birth, or?
Yes. Math
did this come from the test?
Yes.
So it's more sexual assault?
Yes.
Yeah, folklore tends to... No. Again, this has the hallmark of early kind of Western European folklore. Like, it's a little rapey. Mm-hmm. It's some body horror with the animal stuff. It's some feet stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, Dylan...
But it's also weird. And our Dylan is better than that. Dylan's better than this.
Okay. Do you want me to continue the story of Dylan?
I mean, I'm full. I don't need any more because it's just It's just going to be more rape and foot stuff, right?
It's more rape and foot stuff, but Dylan dies.
Okay, and then his uncle comes and puts his feet on him and turns him into a toad.
Well, no, his uncle does kill him.
He does kill him,
but.
Didn't he put his feet on and have sex with the...
No.
Turns him to a giraffe.
It's Math, his uncle, kills him. Uh-huh. But when Dylan falls into the waters, he takes on the characteristics of a sea creature moving through the sea.
I knew it. I knew it was going to be some
perfectly as any fish.
I knew it was going to be some more body horror. I knew he was going to have like a donkey head or something. Come on, man. I got a PhD in this. I know how this works. I knew it was going to be something else with his, and then he transforms into a monkey.
Well, it's a fish.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a fish. A fish named Dylan.
A fish named Dylan. Yeah. I think our Dylan handily defeats
trumps all of them.
These 5 Dylans.
All right. Well, we have the Lord Dylan.
We have Lord Dylan, God Emperor Dylan.
Yes. Working the video camera.
That's right. Because this is a crack organization right here.
All right. Well, that has been the top 5.
All right.
It is now time for the game of Kings or Dylans.
Yes, the game of Dylans.
It is now time for 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
All right.
Six Degrees of D'Urville Martin, where I come up with 2 actors and Vincent has 6 films or less to connect them back to a man who, for all we know, name actually means Dylan.
His name actually means Dylan.
D'Urville Martin.
In the old Welsh.
Perhaps at one time a Dylan fell to the sea.
Yes.
And turned into D'Urville Martin.
Right. And his feet transformed
into his mustache.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right.
So, keeping it in theme, Vincent.
Wait, is it Dylans?
It is Dylans. In 6 films or less.
Who are the Dylans? All right.
Connect Dylan D'Urville Martin to Dylan McDermott.
Oh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Because he's really a TV guy.
He is.
He's the practice guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about his movie work.
He's done a fair amount.
Oh, well, I know one thing because this is where you messed up.
Oh, boy.
You know I only have 2 white lady movies. Like, I only really claim 2 white lady movies. 9 to 5, which, without exaggeration, if 9 to 5 came on the screen right now, I would shut down this taping.
Really?
And watch it. I love 9 to 5.
It's a good movie.
Like, I wish there were like 4 sequels to 9 to 5. Like, I wish Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton, and Jane Fonda went around the country
just
tying up chauvinist bosses. Like a early 80s feminist A-team. So 9 to 5 is certainly my white lady movie. Okay. But then the ultimate white lady movie is one where Dylan McDermott plays the husband of sickly Julia Roberts. I love Steel Magnolias so much. You know how much I love Steel Magnolias, Lynn? This is how much I love Steel Magnolias. You picked a female lead for me to connect Dervell Martin to.
From Steel Magnolias?
You tell me who to connect Dervell Martin to in Steel Magnolias. Any of the female leads, bonus, you can do Tom Skerritt if you want.
Okay.
You pick.
Okay. Sally Field.
Sally Field, you want me to connect Dervell Martin so I can get to Sally Field to Dylan McDermott.
Yes.
Well, this is how you do that.
Okay.
Because Dervell Martin is in, let's just say, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier is in Uptown Saturday Night with Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is in The Toy with Jackie Gleason.
Yes.
And Jackie Gleason is in Smokey and the Bandit with Sally Field, who is, of course, in Steel Magnolias with Dylan McDermott. You want to do another one? You want to do another? Because we just sit here talking
about Olympia Dukakis.
Olympia Dukakis. This is how you get to Dylan McDermott by using Olympia Dukakis. Because Dervell Martin is in, of course, Five on the Black Hand Side with Dick Anthony Williams. Dick Anthony Williams is in Do the Right Thing. No, is in Mo Better Blues with Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's in Do the Right Thing with Danny Aiello. Danny Aiello is in Moonstruck with Olympia Dukakis.
Very good.
Who was in Steel Magnolias with Dylan McDermott.
I thought you might go Moonstruck. Look, sure.
I mean, that's the only thing I know her in.
Besides
Steel Magnolias. But boy, Steel Magnolias, because see, here's the thing. They told him she was sickly. She wasn't supposed to have no babies. And Dylan McDermott was doing that sort of passive aggressive, oh, I love you, I don't need to have no baby. But he was like low key putting a little pressure on her to have a baby. And she was sickly the whole movie. Like Julia Roberts was real the whole movie. And then she had the baby and died.
Yes.
And then Sally Field was so angry, she just wanted to punch somebody. And then Olivia Dukakis pushed Shirley MacLaine forward and said, punch her. And then they all laughed.
Yes. I've seen the film.
But then it was a flash forward, and it was the Easter parade, and the little boy that was the son of Julia Roberts that Dylan McDermott low-key forced Julia Roberts to have, and then she died. But now it was Easter, and he was a little toddler, and he had on like his Easter little outfit because life goes on, Lynn.
It does.
And Daryl Hannah was pregnant.
Yes.
Because she was like a little mousy school. Because I could have got to Daryl Hannah because Tom Hanks was in Philadelphia with Denzel Washington. Yes, and she was in Splash with Tom Hanks. Oh yeah. And then she was pregnant. And then, Tom Skerritt was in Alien with Yaphet Kotto, who was in The Monkey Hustle with Dolomite, who of course was, oh yeah.
I'm glad you liked the movie.
Dude.
It's a lovely movie.
And it is the white womanist movie ever, and I love it.
See, okay, that's your white woman movie?
Yes, it is.
I have a white woman movie too.
What's yours?
My white woman movie is Terms of Endearment.
Terms of Endearment is real sad, though.
It's not real. Well, okay, yes.
I was about to say it's real sad.
It's real sad.
Right.
But I absolutely love that movie.
It's a good movie.
I think that
it's a good movie.
I first of all, Shirley MacLaine can do no wrong.
Look, man.
For me, Deborah Winger. I think it is.
What was she in? Robin and the Seven. She's in Robin and the Seven Thieves. Which one of the Rat Pack movies is Shirley MacLaine in?
She actually shows up in.
Or is that in Guys and Dolls?
She shows up. Does she show up in Ocean's 11?
Is she in Ocean's 11?
She shows up in
right. And then that's Sammy Davis Jr., which then gets you back to Sidney Poitier, Go ahead.
Anyway, all right, I'm done. All right, next.
All right. Now I want to watch Steel Magnolias. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lynn. It's your fault. Go ahead.
Wendy, I'm sorry.
Look.
When he comes home and throws it in, I'm sorry. What are we doing for Thanksgiving? Vincent's watching.
We're watching Steel Magnolias. Sally Fields said, I'm so angry. I just want to hit somebody. And Olivia Dukakis grabbed Shirley MacLaine and said, punch her. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway. That would be a good double feature.
What?
Terms of Endearment and then followed by Steel Magnolias.
Yeah, you'd have to end it with because Terms of Endearment is sad.
I mean, okay.
Like they don't have a coda like Steel Magnolias.
Well, it doesn't.
Where it's the Easter.
No, okay, they don't have the Easter, but there is a coda.
Life goes on.
There is a coda where life does go on.
Okay.
Because you see Shirley MacLaine and, because her relationship with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
And then you see Jack Nicholson with Deborah Winger's sons.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like talking to him, and talking him through it. It does have a coda. It's a beautiful movie.
I didn't say it wasn't.
I feel you're disparaging it a little bit. I'm moving on to the next Dylan.
All right, who's the next Dylan?
In 6 films or less, connect D'Urville Martin
to Dylan who?
Dylan Baker.
I have no idea who that is.
Yes, you do. That's Dylan Baker.
Oh, that guy.
Named Dylan Baker.
Yeah. Isn't he like, he's like in a Spider-Man or? Oh. Anchorman. No. He's not an Anchorman. He's an Anchorman 2. Because he works at the station of Anchorman 2. So this is how you get to him.
Okay.
Let's have fun with Anchorman 2. Here you go. Here's an unorthodox way to him in Anchorman 2.
Are we going to now play 9 more games of 6?
No. Well, you know that the Anchorman cheat is the fight scene where everyone has a cameo. So just to do it quick, D'Urville Martin is in the final countdown with Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in The Empire Strikes Back with Han Solo, with
Harrison Ford.
And then Harrison Ford is in Anchorman 2.
Right. With
Dylan, because remember, he's a werewolf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good, Vincent.
Yeah.
And you are correct. He is in the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
He's in all of them?
Because he plays Dr. Kurt Connors.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yes. Destined to become the Lizard, but I don't think he actually
I don't think they ever pulled the trigger.
They didn't. I think the plan was if 4 happened.
Right.
He would make it.
Speaking of a character who plays someone who's going to become a supervillain and then it never happens, Billy D. Williams, of course, playing Harvey Dent in Batman.
In Batman. All right. Well, very good.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
6 degrees of Dylan Martin.
Yes. 6 degrees of Steel Magnolias. Yeah.
Whatever. All right. It is now time for us to move into our review of Dylan's favorite childhood memory. From 2001, it is Osmosis Jones. Osmosis Jones, a 2001 American live-action / animated buddy cop film. Written by Mark Hyman and directed-ish by the Farley brothers.
Yeah.
The Farley brothers. Combining live-action sequences. The film stars Chris Rock, Laurence Fishburne, David Hyde Pierce, Brandy Norwood, William Shatner, alongside Molly Shannon, Chris Elliott, and Bill Murray in the live-action roles. The film follows Osmosis Jones, a white blood cell cop who teams up with a cold pill to protect his unhealthy human hosts from a deadly virus that he unintentionally contracts. The film premiered in 2001. It was considered a commercial failure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Grossing $14 million against a $70 million budget. However, it did spawn a animated television series that ran for 2 seasons, Ozzy and Drix. And as we have learned this last year, sitting here on the Micheaux Mission, is a favorite memory of our sweet beloved Dylan, who would ask us maybe once every third week, "Are you reviewing Osmosis Jones today?"
Mm-hmm.
And we would have to sorrowfully let him down and say, "No, we are not.
Sure.
It's not fit in theme, or we have another guest, or it's not the time, Dylan."
It's not the time.
Well, now, Dylan, this is your life.
The time has come.
The time has come, and we are reviewing Osmosis Jones just for you on YouTube, you listening to the podcast, but more for our young Dylan. So to Dylan, Vincent, I ask, what say you of Osmosis Jones?
Well, I think all jokes aside, you can understand the two details about this film's legacy. A, that it was a commercial failure. B, Dylan aside, it has gained a bit of a cult following.
Yes.
As years have gone by. I think just as a high concept, it's a strange idea. Like I'm so curious to have seen the sort of development of this as an idea. As you said, Osmosis Jones takes place in the city of Frank.
Yes.
Which Frank is the character played in live action by Bill Murray, who is comically disgusting. Like just comically disgusting.
Yes.
And while I don't think Bill Murray is the best part of this film, I think you have to admire the gusto that he attacks this role with. Like he's actually grimy and gross and disgusting. And then the city of Frank, which as you mentioned is animated.
Yes.
Is where the bulk of the plot takes place. And it's weird because, you know, maybe about a third of it is live action. And then 2/3 of it takes place on this animated landscape inside his body. It is inside his body, but then it's a city. And it's a bit of a high concept that I can understand word of mouth, people saying, I don't want to see this. This is weird. I'm not going to see it, so on and so forth. But, and remind me, the script writer, did you say Mark Hyman?
Yes.
It is a surprisingly smart film. Like surprisingly smart. Like as I watched it today, and this is maybe my 3rd time seeing it in totality, and I've seen pieces throughout the years. There was a lot of thought that went into the logistics of how would a body or civilization within a body work.
Yeah.
And I think the real key to this film gaining a following as the years have gone by is that. Like it's really smart. Like certainly this is a film that either directly or just ambiently influence something like Inside Out.
Okay, yeah.
Where, again, someone has really put a lot of thought into what would it look like with this city inside. The plot, Osmosis Jones is character Chris Rock plays. He is a white blood cell. The conceit is the white blood cells are the law enforcement, which if you remember 7th grade biology, that kind of makes sense. Like the white blood cells are what kind of keeps you healthy. So of course that would be the law enforcement. And he patrols the city of Frank, which because Frank, the man, is disgusting and gross, it's basically 70s New York inside his body, which again makes sense. And he is a cop who has had a bit of a checkered history because of an incident that happened in the past where he pushed the emergency button and made Frank vomit, which is a huge thing. And the plot begins because, once again, we're going to keep going back to Frank is disgusting. And how disgusting is he? Well, he carries around boiled eggs and he eats them with mayonnaise on them. Wow, that sounds really disgusting. Oh, no, it gets better. He works at the zoo and a chimpanzee steals the egg from him. Oh, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Oh, but wait, he wrestles the chimpanzee to get the boiled egg back. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, I know. But then the chimpanzee drops the egg within the zoo cage in the hay and everything that's on there. Frank picks it up and eats it.
Yes.
To which any normal person would say, that sounds like a way to get really, really sick. Which you're right. It's also a way that you can fool around and get anthrax. Who is the primary antagonist.
To be clear, they only call him Thrax.
They call him Thrax. But again, a film that is very smart. If you're kind of paying attention, it's accurate.
Yeah.
For how anthrax affects you. A character played with a surprising amount of gravitas by Laurence Fishburne.
Gravitas and charisma.
And you know, I don't know if this got him the job of Morpheus, but you very much see him again. Like he's got this weight, this real dramatic weight that is a lot for this film that's a cartoon.
You know, he reminded me, sorry, watching it today, he reminded me of Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman from Die.
Look.
Just stealing every
It is legitimately a great performance. Rounding out the real primary cast, you have David Pierce, who David Hyde Pierce, who portrays a cold pill, who the character Frank takes, and then he and Chris Rock's Osmosis Jones are partners.
Yes.
And in many
buddy cop.
It's a buddy cop, man. In many ways, the plot itself is a standard rogue cop, button-down partner, mismatched partners have to deal with a threat that no one takes seriously.
Yes.
With a political subplot because there's a mayoral race, which, again, is surprisingly kind of smart the way it's played, where William Shatner plays the mayor, who is like this old kind of grungy mayor of a grungy town who appeals to people's lowest common denominator to keep them going, you know, get the votes. He's in the election against a rising newcomer who wants to clean up the town by getting a colonic and eating
John
better.
Colonic.
Played by Ron Howard.
Which, when you hear the voice, he's like, okay, that tracks.
Which, sidebar, you talk about this $70 million budget. They spent a lot of money on the cast that I don't know how much you needed to spend this much money on the cast. But we'll talk about that because we have to talk about the cartoon series. But I think the ideas, like there are so many ideas. The world building and you know, the politics and, you know, there's a seedy club inside of a zit. There's
the zit.
There's a movie theater that shows Frank's dreams. There's besides, you know, there's undercover. There's an undercover cop who you come to find out he was a flu shot.
Yes.
So he looks like he's a flu, but he's really working for law enforcement. And again, there are ideas piled on top of each other.
Yeah.
That I think held my attention more than anything else. In contrast to Laurence Fishburne, I have to say, and it's not his fault because this is from 24 years ago, and I'm listening to him through 2024 ears. Chris Rock as Chris Rock character kind of is, it's like chalk on a chalkboard at this point. But part of the reason it is because we've had 20 years of Madagascar and you know, basically Chris Rock when he's not actually being Chris Rock, frankly, I think oftentimes is a caricature of himself. And he's very much Chris Rock as this guy. So that's a lot. I think he and David Hyde Pierce have a bit of chemistry, you know, because again, Chris Rock is Chris Rock type. David Hyde Pierce is basically playing his character from Frasier.
He's basically playing Niles.
So that kind of works.
It does.
Like I said, Bill Murray's not doing great work, but you know, he's attacking it with gusto. And I do like there are scenes with him and his daughter's teacher, played by Molly Shannon.
Those are funny.
And I like Molly Shannon.
Yes.
Like Molly Shannon is someone who I think got kind of lost in that Saturday Night Live cohort that she's in. So she brings this kind of element of chaos. And it was nice, speaking of Saturday Night Live, you don't oftentimes see cross-generational Saturday Night Live playing together.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think this is a film that is more interesting than good, that is smarter than good. But because it is interesting and because it is smart, it makes up for the okayness. And I land on really liking it.
I land on liking it as well, but I agree with pretty much everything that you said. The bad thing about this movie are the live action scenes, because they're live action. Yes, they play like they're another movie, but they play like they're another movie because the tone doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't. First of all, if you think for a moment about what is being depicted there, Bill Murray's character, Frank, is maybe the most disgusting man on earth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Who unfortunately is saddled with unfortunately for her, his daughter, who's a sweetheart of a child, who lost her mother prematurely, and she is basically trying to raise him.
Yeah.
But the Farrelly brothers, you learn, they actually directed the live action scenes, and which is why they have the feel of a Farrelly brothers film, which is basically just set up joke. Pull the ripcord on the joke, set up the next joke. That's basically what they're doing. They're lucky that there are scenes, like you mentioned, with Bill Murray and Molly Shannon, where the two of them are bouncing off each other and it works. But I think they underutilize someone who I like, Chris Elliott.
Yeah.
They underutilize him. And then Bill Murray is in sleepwalking mode for the most part, but he's just so disgusting. And he's so disgusting in front of people, humans, that it's like, will someone go and rescue this little girl from this disgusting man? There's a moment where he trips off of 2 steps going into his house, and he's laid up with ice, and his daughter comes into the room, and he's like, leg, and she's like, oh, they're putting some ice on your legs. I'm sorry to see. No, leg. He means a leg of chicken from the box of KFC that's just outside of his reach.
It's like a deleted scene where Child Protective Services shows up.
I mean, like, dude, what is going on? And here's the thing. When you learn about, like, he has this bad relationship with the teacher, Molly Shannon, and you see in a flashback what happened to them, between them. And in the flashback, Bill Murray is kind of all right.
Yeah, kind of schlubby, but he has on a suit.
He's got a suit. Yeah. You learn that he's got pretty much decent job, a good relationship with his daughter. They're at a science fair, and she made a volcano. He's proud of his daughter.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, he's going around looking at everybody else and says, that's not going to win based on against my daughter. My daughter, I mean, he's a proud father. And he seems, but for some reason, he's a dummy and eats clams from a science experiment. Which is like, what? I mean, but and that is ultimately what causes him to, hurl all over Molly Shannon's character. Sure. And apparently leads to the downfall of Frank. Because from there, it's caught on camera. It hits the local news. Yeah. He's fired because of it, which to me doesn't sound legal.
Yeah.
It then we go inside
Frank's City of Frank,
and it actually is so vibrant that you talk about the world building. It's lively. It's smart. I love how, new arrivals arrive in their stomach, which makes sense.
And exit.
They exit. Line up at the scrotum. It's so smart. The way, like, when his zit pops and now there's a hole in the skin. Yeah. Releasing air. I mean, everything is the nose is like shooting the dust pollens coming in. It's so smart and alive, and it's 2D animation in 2001 at a time where 3D animation is really starting to take over. So it definitely is a risk. And there's some CG in here. The Drix character, David Hyde Pierce's character, is pretty much all CG, but made to look like he's line art. But the animation is beautiful in this movie. It is absolutely beautiful. The world building, the character designs. I think it's so cool. Chris Rock, his voice can become a little grating, right? But I think Chris Rock is having a lot of fun in this movie. And the reason why he's having a lot of fun is because if you look at the character design of Osmosis Jones, I think the character design of Osmosis Jones is how Chris Rock wishes he looked. Because Osmosis Jones, he's cool. Yeah. He's not skinny. Right. So he's not built like Chris Rock. He's got a nice slender physique. He's hip without being overly annoying, anything like that. He knows his job. He's not a bad cop. Usually these bad, these hotshot dudes are like bad cops and just running by the seat of their pants. No, he's smart. You see him doing detective work. So putting the pieces together, he's good at his job. He gets bad breaks every once in a while because he wants to do so much. He actually wants to take care of Frank. He's Frank PD. Yeah. That's my job. Right? So, and I think that's who Chris Rock wishes he was.
Sure.
He wishes he was that, because that character gets Brandy. Oh no, I mean Leah. Yeah, which is a Easter egg from the film. Played by Brandy, who, side note, man moment, I didn't know white cells were drawn that way. I was like, whoo.
Yeah.
Art. Not since Valerie from Josie and the Pussycats have I been...
She played tambourine, hit her on the thigh.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And Brandy was walking around in her best Erica Alexander a la Living Single sports jacket.
Yeah.
I wonder if her birthday is November 19th as well. But anyway, I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. It was saying something. Back to the movie review.
Please. Got weird. We do it live, folks.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah,
I enjoy.
Yeah.
Do I have the childhood memories of Dylan with this? No, it came out in 2001. I was going on 30.
Yeah.
So, but I absolutely adore this movie. I just wish there wasn't as much live action stuff in it.
Yeah.
Because I actually think that is what lets down. That is the only thing that lets down this movie.
That's fair. You mentioned the tone, and I meant to say there are these weird tonal shifts. Whereas you mentioned Frank is raising his daughter by himself because his wife has died fairly recently, in, when the film is set. But there's a moment where, throughout the film, the daughter is basically dealing with this man-child that is her father and saying, oh, you need to take better care of yourself. You need to do this, eat better. And then towards the end, she says, basically, if mom had taken better care of herself and listened to me, she wouldn't be dead. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That seems to be a lot.
Yeah.
And then in the climax where Thrax basically is about to win, but you realize his victory is killing Frank. And in case you lose sight of that, there is an extended live action sequence where Frank is dying.
Yes.
And he crashes and they take him to the emergency room and they've got the monitor I was like, wow, this is very intense right now for a film that was a kid's film. So there's that too. But to your point about it seems like it should have all been animated, that seems like a good moment to talk about how there's a spinoff.
Yes.
Which is a cartoon.
Ozzy and Drix.
Ollie and Drix, where the Ozzy and Drix, where the conceit is the two characters, Osmosis Jones and Drix, are abducted by an alien, which is a mosquito. And the mosquito sucks them up. And then when the mosquito goes and bites another person, the other person is a young boy. And then they are now in a new city, the city of Hector, who's like 12, and it's a much cleaner city. It's less, but I suspect this was probably in motion when the film came out because they thought the film was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Like it was going to be a thing. And then you basically had these 2 years of them almost having to burn it off.
Yeah, because it's like 2 seasons, but it's only 26 episodes.
Right. Contracts have been signed and this, that, and the other. And again, I'm not sure who thought this was going to be a thing.
Well, I can actually get behind the idea because it's a tale as old as time.
Is it?
Yeah, think back to the 60s. To the 60s, in 1966, there was Fantastic Voyage, which is a film that takes place with a ship going inside a body, and you're traveling inside a body.
Humanized like this, like I can get behind Fantastic Voyage.
Okay, but you're saying it wasn't humanized,
or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, even.
Yeah, but you're saying it wasn't humanized. It was live action.
Right.
So to think that, hey, we're not going to have the budget to reproduce like the crazy visuals of Fantastic Voyage or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids or anything like that, but we can animate it. We can make it happen. And they do.
Well, just to contradict myself about how it could have worked and been a good idea, we've talked about, when we've mentioned this before in passing, part of the reason that it has gained this following through the years is that it is surprisingly scientifically accurate.
And you just talked about that.
So people use it. Mm-hmm. Teachers have used it as a teaching aid.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if they had leaned into that and frankly, partnered with PBS and have something like this on in the afternoon with
You're talking about as far as the sequel,
right? The
series,
and have it on with something like pulling from my memory of my kids and something like, I don't know, Martha Speaks or Wishbone or like these kind of, they're educational, but they're also entertaining.
Okay, yeah.
And that would have been, hell, that could still be running, frankly, because it really is like I really admired how anthrax operated in the body like anthrax does, where you're not quite sure what's happening until it's too late and this, that, and the other. So, I guess it could have worked.
Yeah, it could have. And honestly, like you just said, it could have still be running. I think it's worth revisiting. I think the world building was so smart in this movie. I think it is worth revisiting now. It wouldn't be 2D animation, but you could just certainly do a computer animation.
Yeah.
It probably isn't Chris Rock voicing it, but you can't afford Kevin Hart.
Sure.
So, but you find somebody. William Shatner is still around, to be quite honest.
Hell, get Phil Lamar like they had for the cartoon and let him do a Chris Rock shtick.
Yeah, but yeah, and shout out to William Shatner.
Yeah,
because William Shatner is having so much fun in this movie.
Oh yeah,
he is having so much fun. And I watched it today, and I smartly, I was off last week. I'm off this week too, so I'm just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling.
And I said, I don't want to watch another animated movie. And the animated movie I never watched before, don't know anything about. I watched Escape to Planet Earth, right? Which is this movie about these aliens who come to Earth they think to rescue somebody, and hijinks ensue.
Sure.
Right? It's a cute enough of a movie.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me, I fell into a William Shatner double feature because William Shatner plays the villain in this movie.
Nice.
And William Shatner is having a ball in this movie as well. And I'm sitting there like, why, William Shatner?
Well, it's interesting that he plays a villain in the second movie because he is having a ball, but he has a certain level of menace that I thought he pulled off as this kind of corrupt, venal politician.
Had a little bit of a Mario Cuomo vibe.
Yeah. I was like, okay, William Shatner.
Yeah.
Doing some voice work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. But
would
you recommend Osmosis Jones?
I would. And I'm glad we're recommending it because, to your point, I think it's worth revisiting because I think it is a film that, while it has a bit of a cult following, I think it's kind of gotten lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And again, in this moment where Inside Out justifiably has become a phenomenon, I think the kid that appreciates Inside Out for its sensibilities about sort of animating a person's inner life, this works really well within that framework.
I agree. And also, I think that in a world where anime has taken hold and is primarily the first choice for a lot of children in the age bracket to which this film was meant for, and anime being a genre that deals with storytelling that's not talked down to children, I think they can appreciate the tonal shifts in something like Osmosis Jones, they can appreciate it getting a little dark at the end, which actually makes sense, story-wise, because this is a man who did not take care of himself. And you see the ultimate danger of not taking care of yourself.
And again, not he didn't take care of himself. You shouldn't eat pizza after 10. He didn't take care of himself. He ate a boiled egg that fell inside
a monkey cage.
A monkey cage. And rolled around in the hay after the monkey had been pawing it.
Now that I think about it, that sounds like it's probably a scene in an anime that these children have watched.
Right.
So I think they are well prepared for Osmosis Jones. Right. So, hey, dial that up for Thanksgiving. Why don't you?
There you go.
All right.
All right,
Dylan, you're going to have to speak up. Did you enjoy? Were you entertained?
Yes, I was very entertained. I have a mic over here, so all good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I hope you were entertained by Dylan Palooza tonight.
Dylan Palooza.
Before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing next week here on the Micheaux Mission, I invite you to tell us exactly everything going through your head via email. You can email the Micheaux Mission at micheauxmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUXMISSION @gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram at Micheaux Mission. You can also join our Facebook group, Micheaux Mission, where we have fun talking with our missionaries. And please like and follow us on YouTube, where you can hit the bell, subscribe, and be notified of when we go live, when our videos go up, and everything like that, and more so. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud podcast available everywhere you find podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. If they've got podcasts, then they've got the Micheaux Mission. And you can follow us and leave us a 5-star review and let people know that you like our show, because then they'll say, hey, I want to check that show out too, which is a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work, such as ours, The Micheaux Mission, where you can visit our website, micheauxmission.com, and hit swag and check out all of the cool swag that we have available to you by way of our good friends at TeePublic. I'm telling you right now, just in time for the holiday season, you want to get your shopping on. We've got big sales on our swag, and this is the last opportunity because we are changing the game up in 2025. It is going to be a whole new mission in 2025. Trust me on that. But
as far as the paraphernalia in the shoot, like you said, a whole new game, like we were going to come in with Cousin Oliver.
No, we're not. No, Cousin Oliver.
Or like the what was that, the 4th or 5th season of Laverne and Shirley, where they moved to L.A. and then the rest of the cast moved to L.A. too.
I forgot all about that.
And then Cindy Williams had the falling out, and then she left the last season.
Yes.
And it was just Laverne by herself. You remember when the opening, Laverne would walk down the street and it was like little girls singing the song, and it was just sad.
It was sad.
It was just sad.
It was also sad because by then Laverne was not quite the Laverne from years ago.
She didn't have the pep in her step when she did because she was feisty. She was a little fireball when they were.
Yeah, she wasn't little Penny Marshall.
Right. When she was on Happy Days.
No. She was a 50-cent piece.
Yeah.
But no, that's not what's.
But that's not what. So that's not what's happened.
All right, next week here on the Micheaux Mission. A film that we have reviewed before. If you check out the archives, we actually did a review of this film with our good friend Bobby Booker, but it was not on YouTube. And now, for the first time on YouTube, Vincent and I will be sitting down here to review Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
The Mel Brooks classic.
Blazing Saddles. I'm going to say this again next week. In my entire life, I never saw my father laugh as hard as he laughed during the bean scene in this film. It brought him so much joy. Like he would just choke with laughter. He thought it was so funny. So,
all right.
Have a lot of affection for this film.
That's coming your way next week, Missionaries, including we're going to have a very special guest in the building to play the top 5 and 6 degrees of D'Urville Martin with Vincent and me. I have no idea what's happening next week. So it'll be all new. It's topsy-turvy. We're going crazy.
Don't hurt yourself.
All right. That's all coming next week. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.
YunkJunk!